My name is Sharon. My colleagues and I all work at the City of Fairfax Regional Library. Welcome to Read to Your Zodiac Sign. This series is offered as a part of our adult summer reading program. We're going to break this series down into weekly installments by the 4 elements of nature: air, fire, water, and earth, each of which give the signs their distinct temperaments. We will give you a brief recap of a sign's personality traits and introduce you to a few books that we think each zodiac sign will enjoy. To learn more about astrology, you can search for books in our catalog. There are titles available in print, as ebooks on Overdrive and Libby, and as e-audiobooks on RB Digital. This week we are going to introduce you to the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Fire signs tend to be fiery, passionate, creative, enthusiastic, and intense. They are intuitive, self-aware, and rely on gut instincts. They may get angry quickly, but they also forgive quite easily. They trust in life's journey and are willing to take risks. They are adventurers, have a lot of energy, and are a source of inspiration for others. They may look reckless, but their lust for life is enviable. Fire signs are always ready for action.
Hello, my name is Lisa, and I'm going to talk about Leos. Leo, you've got flair. You're the life of the party and love to be the center of attention. You live life to the fullest. Leos are known for being outgoing, brave, strong, warm, and passionate. They also tend to be intuitive, relying on instinct. They are willing to take risks. Leos respect hard work and value loyalty. They are supporters of underdogs and friends in distress. Be careful, you can be a bit controlling. A few famous Leo authors include Isabel Allende, Zelda Fitzgerald, George Bernard Shaw, Beatrix Potter, and J.K. Rowling. An example of a fictional Leo is Harry Potter. Harry, born on July 31st, exemplifies Leo characteristics such as bravery, risk-taking, a passion for life, and never-ending loyalty. He is a dedicated friend and takes charge in the fight against evil. I have a few fiction suggestions for Leos. Finding Dorothy by Elizabeth Letts. As a young girl, Elizabeth wanted to be like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. She wanted to stare down a lion, melt a witch, and tame a wizard. So her novel, Finding Dorothy, should appeal to Leos who prioritize strength and loyalty. This perspective focuses on Maud Gage Baum, the ambitious, high-spirited wife of the author of the Wizard of Oz books. This engaging historical fiction novel has alternating timelines. One starts in the 1870s, tracing Maud's girlhood in New York, her brief time at Cornell University, her early marriage to Frank Baum, and the births of their sons. The second timeline takes place in Hollywood 1938, where MGM is making the movie, The Wizard of Oz. Maud, now 77, tries to nurture and protect Judy Garland and keep the movie adaptation true to her husband's vision. 11/22/63 by Stephen King. What if you could go back in time and prevent something terrible from happening? And what if your portal to the past starts at a specific time, say 11:58 a.m. September 9, 1958? High school English teacher Jake Epping embraces risk-taking and discovers romance in this alternative history romantic thriller, where his mission is to kill Lee Harvey Oswald so that the 1963 JFK assassination never happens. Jake embodies Leo characteristics such as loyalty, passion, and a refusal to accept failure. How to Get Filthy Rich in Rising Asia by Mohsin Hamid. How do you go from being young and impoverished to the top of the corporate world? Leo's boldness is evident in this coming-of-age, rags-to-riches story. It's upbeat, engaging, and lush, and written in an unusual second-person voice in the style of a self-help guide. For a nonfiction book suggestion, since Leos are known for being creative and vivacious, try a biography of an artist or musician. Just Kids by Patti Smith won the National Book Award in 2010 for nonfiction and is a reflective, powerful memoir. She shares her experience of trying to be a poet and combining poetry with music, her relationship with photographer Robert Mapplethorpe, and the New York City art, poetry, theater, and music scene of the late 1960s and early 1970s.
My name is Kate, and I'm going to tell you about books that Sagittarians might enjoy. Sagittarians are philosophical, contemplative, and idealistic. They love the wild, adventure, nature, and travel. They are creative and good-humored. They have a sunny disposition, but Sagittarians are also known for their honesty, which of course is a good trait, but they can be honest to the point of being rude or blunt. That just makes for some good stories. Sagittarius or Sagittarius-like characters are Tom Sawyer. Think of his mischievousness, his love of adventure, or Hagrid from Harry Potter, and the care that he shows for all of the creatures in the Forbidden Forest. Some famous Sagittarian authors that you might enjoy are Mark Twain, Jane Austen, C.S. Lewis, who wrote the Narnia Chronicles, or James Dashner, a young adult novelist who wrote The Maze Runner. Also, Bill Bryson, who we'll talk about in a little bit. A fiction recommendation that Sagittarians might enjoy is The Rosie Project. In this quirky and endearing novel, we meet Don Tillman, a professor of genetics, a little bit socially inept, but Don has decided that it's time for him to find a wife. And so in the measured and evidence-based manner in which he approaches all things, Don designs a scientific survey designed to weed out qualities that he does not want in a partner. No drinkers, no smokers, no late arrivers. Rosie does meet all of Don's qualifications, although he initially dismisses her as being intelligent for a barmaid. Remember, we talked about Sagittarians being honest to the point of being blunt or rude? That's Don. But Rosie has a project of her own, and that's to find her biological father. So when Don and Rosie team up to work on her project, he's met with this unconventional whirlwind that is Rosie, and learns that scientific surveys aside, you don't find love, love finds you. If you enjoy the Rosie Project, there is a follow-on novel, The Rosie Effect. And you also might enjoy the sort of quirky and madcap characters in Where'd You Go, Bernadette, or Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. Sagittarians are adventurous and love travel, so a nonfiction recommendation, especially for somebody who liked the book Under the Tuscan Sun, would be A Year in Provence by Peter Mayle. This is a hilarious and seductive account of a 12-month journey in which Peter, his wife, and their 2 large dogs restore a centuries-old farmhouse in the French countryside, a farmhouse that they bought on site. They experience the storms of January, which wreak havoc on the old pipes, and the promises, but maybe not deliveries, of the masons and the other workmen that they try to hire to repair this place. Eventually, of course, they do fall in love with the home and the surroundings, the people that live nearby. Much to his surprise, Peter becomes friends with somebody who is a boar hunter, someone who is a truffle hunter, somebody who eats foxes, and somebody who bites the dentist. He discovers the secret of handicapping racing goats and disarming vipers. Of course, he also comes to dread the tourists because they get in the way of his tranquility. But it is sort of a madcap and sweet adventure for a nonfiction read for Sagittarians. Appealing to Sagittarians' love of wit and adventure, you might enjoy the acerbic wit and detailed observations of travel writer Bill Bryson, who writes about life in America and in Great Britain. I suggest trying The Lost Continent or A Walk in the Woods, which is about his trek on the Appalachian Trail. It's hilarious and a bit of humor and travel, all from the comfort of your couch, reading a great book. For something a little deeper and more serious, Sagittarians also might enjoy a book called The Long Walk by Slavomir Ravitz. This is the story of his escape from a Siberian gulag and his trek to freedom across the Himalayan mountains. It's harrowing and fascinating.
Hi, I'm Becky, and today I'm going to be talking about Aries. Aries are known for being the go-getters. They're the first ones to the party, the first ones to find a meme, the first ones to identify a trend. They are always up for a challenge. They like to be self-directed. They value authenticity highly. They are independent, they are impatient. Sometimes change can't come quickly enough for them, so they meet the change at the gate. They are the first fire sign, and they have a strong will, spark, and drive. A literary character who embodies the characteristics of an Aries would be Achilles from the Iliad. He's a warrior who cares a little too much. Some authors that are Aries include Maya Angelou, Tennessee Williams, James Patterson, and Flannery O'Connor. My first recommendation for fiction would be Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. This is a novella that is written about a black man who has to choose between the safety of his fiancée living in New York City or to live his authentic self in Paris with his boyfriend. This book was written in 1956, which is huge. It shows the complexities of the heart that will speak to the secretly tender-hearted Aries while blazing a path for the future. My next fiction recommendation is Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. This is the story of two Nigerians that fall in love and become separated as their lives grow. Ifemlu goes to America and Obinze tries to follow her, but cannot penetrate 9/11 borders. After 15 years, they reunite in Nigeria. This story will appeal to the tenacious side of Aries. My last recommendation is for nonfiction, and it's a biography of Alexander Hamilton written by Pulitzer Prize-winning author Ron Chernow. This biography was the inspiration for the musical that everyone knows, Hamilton. Hamilton was the often forgotten founding father. He was a true Aries. He worked his butt off. He was an orphan. He made a name for himself. And he paved the way both for himself and helped lay the foundation for the financial system of our country. Thank you for joining us for Read to Your Zodiac for this week. Please come back next week when we'll have more signs and more book recommendations.